Hello and welcome to Growing in Suburbia. My name is Nicole and welcome to my almost finished crafty corner. I'm still working on this. This is in our shared room, playroom, activity room, games room, whatever you want to call it. We've just put in some new shelves and this is going to be like our makerspace crafting area for me, the kids and whoever wants to join us. But it's not quite finished yet, but almost. So today, on a completely different subject, I want to show you how to make a few Christmas cards with kids. So these are all things that are very easy and very quick to make. So you can totally make them by yourself. They are very low energy activities. You don't need expertise. You don't need a huge amount of different specialized materials. You can adjust everything to what you already have at home. But they are all things that you can also make with your children. So my kids are primary school age. There are some activities that you can make with like tiny baby toddlers, up to some older kids, and you can make it as difficult, as easy as you want. If you just want to do it after work to relax, you can totally do that while watching something. This is, as I said, low energy, very easy thing. And then you have some handmade Christmas cards that you can either give away, send away, or just hang up for yourself afterwards. So we're going to do a couple of different things. We're going to make some potato stamps, which I'm really excited about. And we're also going to do a little bit of mono printing. Now this sounds really fancy, but if you've seen jelly plates before, that's kind of what it is. So super easy. You don't, as I said, need any fancy materials. Use your acrylic paints, use your kids' paints for it. Some cardstock or some heavier printer paper to mount your prints on later, as in just stick them on. So as I said, easy peasy, and I'm gonna show you the beautiful prints and pictures we can make from that. So for example, this one we made. If you have some stamps, or if you don't have stamps, now's the time. Oops, sorry. A lot of shops have little sets of different stamps that you can use, like this one. It is, I'm so sorry, it's a little bit faint, but you might be able to see it, the Merry Christmas one and stuff like that. They have them in a set with some ink pads, usually around this time. Grab them, even if they are like cheapish. They're really fun, and the variety you get is really good. They're quite cheap usually. I got mine for probably about $10 or something. And you can reuse them every year. You can just add a little bit to everything, and kids really like stamping. So if you just give them a sheet of white paper and a set of stamps, they are gonna be in heaven for a few hours. So that's really cool, fun little activity. Cookie cutters, as I said, also something we're gonna need. But need is a very strong word. So this is super flexible, as I said. So no need for anything. Paper, some paints, a little bit of creativity. All right, and also not sort of mandatory, have a cozy drink with you if you want. Now's the time to cuddle up. I know I live in Australia, and I live in Perth specifically, which is one of the hottest capitals in Australia. And I have been enjoying the cold. It has been fantastic. There's been the odd day where it was a little bit warmer because it is spring. But yesterday it rained. It's beautiful, it's cool, it's lovely. I'm really trying to soak up those Christmas vibes because I grew up in winter Christmas in Germany, very storybooky. So this is still, even after living here for quite a while, it's still weird. So enjoy your hot beverage with your Christmas crafts and think of snow. Now let's get on with it. For all of our cards we need some paper. I've got some washi tape as well to decorate later. Those are the stamps that I talked about before. I think mine are from Aldi. Some brushes and the normal stuff we have. This is my glass plate we use for printing as well. Now these are the cards I made from heavier cardstock, printing paper, and you can also use cardstock as well. Now for all of the projects we are going to need some plain paper. This is just normal copy paper, 80 grams, and I'm going to fold this into 4s so that they match our cards that we have made. Now I'm cutting them deliberately a little bit smaller so that they are easier to glue on later, so you don't have to match up the edges and it looks a little bit like a bit more artsy when they're sort of mounted properly. Now the first technique we're going to do is technically called monotype printing. And that is a type of printmaking that's made by drawing or painting on a smooth surface, and then you use that surface to make your print from. I'm using some really old acrylic paint that I'm spreading on my glass plate. Now, if you don't have a glass plate, use a gelli plate or some other flat surface. Now, the glass plate, I don't know where I got this from. I use this for printmaking. What you can do though is get like an insert for a shelf. IKEA has some for the Kallax shelves. Here in Australia they're only $15 for 2, so it's not too expensive and they are huge. That means you got a really nice clean surface and it is not sharp edged or anything like that. Next we're going to draw some Christmas trees on here. You can do a different shape of course as well. These are all just suggestions. This is nice and easy, low energy craft. Now I'm just making a little bit of taking away some of the paint, making a little bit of a pattern for where my Christmas lights go later when I paint them on. And now we're going to be ready for printing. Now I did not put a star on the top there, but you can of course if you want to rub that out as well to make it a little bit easier to put on later. Now we put our plain clean paper on top and gently rub it. And then you gently pull it off like that from one corner and there you have your print. Oh, that's Indy. So he snuck up when I wasn't there. He really loves joining me. He's such a cute kitty cat. Alright, next up, I'm going to use my gold paint, very fancy, and make a star. Now again we're going to print that, put it on there nice and gently, very gently rub it, hold it in place. Now my paint is really old so it dries really quickly. If you have some fresh paint it's probably going to be a little longer. Okay, now this has dried. I'm going to decorate it. So I'm still using those little cotton buds because why not? You can use a paintbrush as well. And I've chosen a few colors, this red and then also some gold, and I'm just gonna dab that onto the little spots that I made. Remember the first when we printed it, and that just means you can see them better because they have the white background. And that's done. Now that's the star we printed, and I'm not going to do a lot. I'm just going to use one of my stamps from the big packet of stamps that I had. And that's nice and easy also for the kids. They don't have to know how to write. Just use the stamp. It says Merry Christmas, and we're done with that card as well. Now the next thing we're going to do, I'm really excited about, it's potato stamp making. So, now I've got a very large potato and I'm going to cut it in half. Now, if you cut it the way I do, that's obviously a bit of a smaller surface. You can cut it the other way as well, and that'll make it a little bit bigger. I did that later with my kids, and this kind of shape will fit much better if you cut it the other way. Now I'm gonna go for the bell for this one, I think. It's best you do the knife cutting parts if you are working with children. Let them pick the shape and then you can put it in and cut it off. Don't obviously let children use the knife, but this is really easy. You just push that cookie cutter in a little bit and it'll give you the nice cutout, very clear shape of the stamp. If you don't have any cookie cutters, you can just draw on it or use a piece of paper as like a stencil, and that's just as easy. Now for the stamping part, we are using one of our papers we prepared earlier. And then I am going to use some red and some gold for these ones. So I'm using my acrylic paint for that as well. Now you can dab it in the paint. I found with my particular one it just didn't work very well, so I put a thin layer on top with a brush. Now it was a bit slippery when I didn't make it thin enough, so be mindful, maybe do some test prints first, but yeah, cover it in paint and then you can just go ahead and just print on your paper. Gently push down and then just lift it up. Now you can see I didn't push down a lot on this one. I pushed a bit more on the other one. And you can see that made a perfect bell shape. Now we're going to go ahead and also use our star. Alright, it is dry now and I decided I'm going to decorate this one with a few stamps as well, just for fun. I realized that the red stamp pad is not working as well as I was hoping for, so they are quite faint, but that's just down to my particular one. I think it's probably a little dried out. It worked a little bit better with the smaller one, but later on I just used the green one instead. The last technique we're going to do is really fun, especially for smaller children who might not have much dexterity yet. We're using the cookie cutters as stencils in this one, so you have to just trace around, but this is nice and easy and fun. If you don't have cookie cutters, just draw it yourself. Now, to be honest, I almost instantly regretted using those parcels. I don't think they turned out really well because you can't really see the bow, but I just went with it anyway to show you how you can do it and decorate it. And yeah, it's not my favorite, but it's all right. Now I'm tracing it with some oil pastels and adding a few decorations as well. I added some washi tape as well to try and rescue it, but yeah, it's okay, and I think it's a lot of fun for sure, but it wasn't my favorite, so you know. Now for the fun part, we are doing some finger painting. Now this is great with toddlers, even babies can do this, just don't let them lick the paint. Just random pattern, just put some in Christmas colors. You can see I'm using red, green and gold. Just pop some fingerprints on there. It already looks fantastic. You don't even need to do anything else to this. And if you have children, as I said, you have a toddler, you send this to grandma and she's going to absolutely love it. Now I will be tracing this cookie cutter on top just to make it a little bit more Christmas themed. You can also then cut that out and glue it onto one of the cards, but this is really up to you, whatever you want to do. I couldn't make myself cut it because I thought that the dots were just too cute, so I left it that way. Now we're going to mount those on our cards. We're finished with the decorating for now. What you need for that is your pictures and your cards, Christmas cards that are opening on the side, so that's like A4 folded, and then you need some glue as well. I had a really hard time deciding which ones I wanted to use, so I tried them all and then settled on two that I wanted to mount on those. decided to go all out and add some washi tape as well. I don't normally go for pink, but I thought, why not? And here are our finished cards. Now I also did this with my kids. They added 2 more stamps. They only wanted to do the potato stamps, and you can see they decorated them all really lovely. I also did a few myself, and I was so happy with the outcome. We had a blast doing them. We probably spent about an hour or something just making those, and yeah, now they're ready for our teachers to give to them. Thank you so much for watching this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe if you have, leave a like, leave a comment, and go to social media at Growing in Suburbia and show me what you've done. Send me the pictures, post them down below in the comments if you can. I would really like to see what you've done with those Christmas cards. And I will hopefully see you next time for some more Christmas crafts. Bye!